Dwayne Johnson is good for giving us content. And I am sure Dwayne Johnson, shout out to The Rock, I am sure he listens to the TFW podcast, and he has heard me tease for about 3 weeks now this Hollywood Reporter story where they ranked the top 10 wrestlers turn actors. And I kept saying we'll get to it. Rock popped out this week and was like, let me make sure TFW podcast got some content on my back. I see the photo. Internet saying The Rock lost 60 pounds for a new movie role, even though nobody has spoken to The Rock about that's the reason why he lost said 60 pounds allegedly. Who knows if it's 60? That could be the number somebody just threw out there. He lost a significant amount of weight. And of course, I went on a few different platforms just because I wanted to see the temperature of what people were saying. So just reading comments. The majority of the comments, well, I'm not going to say the majority. A lot of the comments was good for him. He finally got off the steroids. He looks so much more happy than he did before when he was big. Yeah, that life, he's getting too old. He needs to stop being that big with taking steroids that can give him a heart attack. All this ridiculousness. He doesn't look happier or healthier to me, but that's another conversation for another day. What I want to ask y'all is, did y'all see this photo? And what did y'all think when y'all saw the pebble?
I was like, who? You talking about with Emily Blunt? Those pictures that circulating with her?
You always just trying to show your fucking tongue off. You know what I'm saying? You need to be showing me your tongue a little bit differently in a way than you do on this show. You gonna get it in. You're gonna get it in somehow.
The first 2 minutes.
With Emily and the one by himself too. The one really is the one by himself, which was crazy.
So it's so funny because just like how absent-minded or how our minds can be in multiple places than one, that when I was seeing it on my timeline and I saw him walking, it was like some video walking with her side by side, taking pictures, posing. I didn't think he looked any different. Not until I saw people saying, oh my God, he's lost so much weight. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he does look a lot thinner. But to me, I didn't even notice it. And then what do I think about it? I mean, we know as an actor, as an athlete, we know that people change their bodies often. So maybe that's just part of the course for what he does for a living. So I didn't think much of it. I definitely don't think that he is either sick or I think probably just he has a movie role coming up. And if he is coming down and leaning out because he doesn't want to bulk, we know that it takes a lot to bulk. And a lot of times to get to that level, he may be taking performance enhancement drugs. And you should probably stay away from it being over 50 years old. So I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, so I didn't see the photo until yesterday because I was talking to the team earlier today. I think I have a caffeine problem, and so it was a big daddy nap time all weekend.
He gotta get his shit in.
So oh yeah, big daddy nap time all weekend. So like one of the first things I saw when I hopped on my Twitters and was this Skinny Rock, and I'm like, first thing I thought was like, hey, I hope my man all right. Right, because a lot of times we get up in age.
I didn't say that, but yes, we of course hope he is 100% healthy.
So we don't know. Like I actually didn't even look for context or anything. I was like, yo, I hope my man's is good because he's been a big guy for a really long time. Looked like he lost. I was telling my wife, I'm like, look like he dude and lost about 80 pounds. It's like no joke. So for me, I was like, yo, I hope he good. First and foremost, I don't know if it's for his role. I have no idea what's going on with him, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I just hope he's good and he's healthy, and this is something that he did by choice. And whatever, if he was on roids, let Big Daddy get a couple of them roids. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with a performance enhancer every now and then. Put that right in my veins. No pause. Like, right, Dwayne, holla at Big Daddy. Let's do it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I turn around.
Luckily, our internet went out over here. So I didn't have to worry about hearing none of that, whatever you was talking about. I came right back when you said Big Daddy.
I got to entertain myself.
I got you, man. Hey, look, but don't forget, I said
me and Dwayne, we could do the steroids together, man.
I got you. We don't. Man, I don't need you to. I don't need you to bring it back, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
And
I appreciate
big
what
together.
you were trying to do,
today, bro.
I understand.
What's that one song? Who made that song? Get Big. What was that? Who made that song back in the day, man?
Get Big?
You ain't got enough money. Get big.
Oh,
big.
man. Oh, that's ooh. Let me see if I can.
They had a remix.
Yeah, no. Oh, the rope.
That dun, dun. Yes. We getting big, Dwayne.
This one right here, right? This one.
Hey, listen to that.
That's also another basement classic. Parties. So yeah, he lost 60 pounds allegedly. I bring it up one because we're gonna get to this damn list, but it was more of he released a video on Instagram and it seemed like it was just a couple weeks ago. Now, granted, it was a really tight shot, so you couldn't see his body, but he lost a lot of muscle and a lot of weight really quick. And for me, always you can look in the eyes. If the eyes look a little sick, you could tell like it was quick. 50 had the same thing when he lost all that weight for that movie that people crapped on. Who else lost a lot of weight? A lot of people with Ozempic. When that was a big thing before it comes out, anybody who took Ozempic is gonna like get 3 heads or grow 3 feet or something in the next couple of years because y'all taking that. Hopefully y'all good to go if y'all did take it, but y'all in trouble if y'all took that Ozempic. But you got that kind of look in his face, and to me, he has that look a little bit in regards to just losing weight really quickly or whatever the case may be. But I digress. I want to get to this really quick. Hollywood Reporter ranks the top 10 wrestlers turned actors. I'm going to go from 10 to 1. Okay? And if you hear something that you feel like should not be there, stop me. I'm going to just go right through. Number 10 is Andre the Giant. Number 9 is Jesse Ventura. Number 8 is Paul White or The Big Show. Number 7 is Hulk Hogan. Number 6 is Kevin Nash. Number 5 is Adam Edge Copeland. Now we get into the top 4. Number 4.
I just stop there real quick.
Okay.
So I'm just not familiar with his work. Talking about Adam Copeland and not so much with Paul Weiss. Like I don't know. I'm gonna probably
shout
say
out to Paul Weiss. You just can't throw it out there.
Like to me, I feel like isn't that his real name though? Paul Weiss?
Paul White is his real name.
Okay, I thought it was Weiss. So
but y'all
Paul
gonna I appreciate y'all.
No,
y'all gonna make sure y'all get y'all shit in. You missed the Rhodesia. When our internet went out, I come back to E damn near. I don't know what he was talking about, but it didn't sound like it was something that should have been on this here platform with him talking about himself and The Rock. That's what we came back to when our internet went out.
No, I thought it was Paul Weiss. I swear to God, I thought it was Paul Weiss. Did you ever tell a joke about Paul Weiss?
Of course I did.
Okay, so then don't sit up here and have me acting stupid. I was just stupid. I just didn't know. I was ignorant. Any point is, I'm not familiar with his work. I know he was in the Cisco video, and I love him.
No. Okay, stop.
And he wasn't really acting in that one.
Paul White was number 8. You let me get all the way to number 5?
Because I was trying to figure out who else was in this running. So at this point, once we get to the top 4, I already know who's at the top 4. So before I cut you off, I wanted to kind of get an understanding of what this list really looked like. So I was Adam and Paul.
I think you know 3 of the top 4. You absolutely don't know all 4.
Okay.
You said we know who's in the top 4.
Yeah.
Give me your 4. Give me your 4.
And this is WWE. There's anybody.
No, there's anybody. Yeah. It's just wrestlers turn actors.
So we could have Rock.
Okay. Yep. Rock is there. Rock is number 2 on the list.
We could have the best actor of them all, and Bautista.
Bautista is number 1 on the list.
Who else? We have John Cena.
John Cena is number 3 on the list. Number 4 is who you were not going to get.
It's a woman.
Absolutely no.
Okay. Well then I don't know because I would have said someone like either like
Becky
Mercedes. Lynch? I could see Mercedes because she was doing huge in Star Wars. I never watched any of the Star Wars, but I heard she was in it. People clamored for that. And
you ain't getting on this list with just one role.
And I would have probably said the Miz because the Miz had a lot of the
the Marine 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, Stone Cold had a Marine too, I think. So
no, he did not.
That'd be my only ones. So it'd be Stone Cold and Miz.
Yep. Nope. Number 4 is Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was a really good actor. So my question to you guys, that was the list I wanted to get to. Just my question is not who's the better actor. Who's your favorite actor that's on that list?
When you talk about favorite, a lot of times that means fun. And there is just no doubt that I think John Cena is my favorite in a sense of fun. I think that movie he did a sequel for, he was they were like newlywed crashers or whatever it was. It called The Vacation. I thought that was just hilarious. But I think as far as my favorite actor, I can't allow the jokes and all of that to supersede the actual acting range of this guy. My guy is Batista.
Okay, so you have him number one as the best and your favorite.
Yeah. Yes.
E?
I gotta go to Rock. Rock is still one of my guys to where I still enjoy his movies. Any movie that Rock has been in, I've pretty much really enjoyed. I think there's one movie I didn't like that The Rock was. Actually, it was okay. It was a movie. He was Skinny Rock. Back in the day, he actually lost a lot of
The
weight.
Rundown?
Yeah, was it The Rundown?
The
I hated
Rundown?
that movie.
Hated that movie.
Or it could have
I
been
believe
Walking
that's
Tall.
the second one.
Remember, he was the sheriff?
Both was terrible.
That was bad
Yeah,
too.
it was one of yeah.
Both of them.
That's what it was. That one, yeah. Like so, but Rock's always been one of my guys. Actually, he is one of the guys on my top list to where it's my see his movie. Him, Rock, and Denzel.
That would be a fun movie, them two together. I
would
agree. I got Rock as my favorite. I know there's a running joke of like he plays the same character in every movie, but I enjoy all of those movies. Right? Like I've never purchased a movie ticket because Batista was in the movie. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't go see that because of his character. Same thing with Cena. I enjoy Cena's movies, but Cena is an absolute made for TV for me. Like streaming, Amazon Prime, Netflix, I'm locked in, I'll watch it. And it probably won't even be first weekend, but I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it. But anytime The Rock drops, I'm typically at the movie theater, or I'm like, as soon as it releases for home, I'm buying it like day one. So he's my favorite. Now, if you're talking about just like who I think is going to be the best when it's all said and done, I wouldn't be surprised if Cena overtakes Batista. Just because Batista, he's the better actor by far. But Batista do some movies too that I don't care about.
Sure.
And I think Cena's going to do more of those big blockbuster type movies where they're going to have the eyeballs on them. It's more about eyeballs than it is, being the awesome thespian and all that kind of stuff. But shout out to all three of them. But yeah, my answer is The Rock. Shout out to everybody that's on the list, actually, except for number 7.
I just feel like with Batista versus Rock Cena, he had such a quicker learning curve than they did. We talk about the Walking called The Walking Dead. We talk about Scorpion King. I mean, you go Scorpion King, Walking Tall, and The Rundown. Those are all kind of garbage. And if I wasn't crazy in love,
great.
and if I wasn't crazy in love with The Rock,
King was great.
if I wasn't crazy in love with The Rock at the time, and I told him as much.
And what was her name? She couldn't have been that old. She just stopped making movies.
Oh, the one in Scorpion King?
Yeah, his leading actress.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous. What was her name? Kelly who?
She played in X-Men 2, X2, I believe.
Did she?
I think so.
Yeah.
Anywho's, but I mean, he had many more opportunities, I feel like, to get better at the craft. Same thing with John Cena. Like, I felt like the first few movies he did, like just some run-ins, no pun intended, he was just this comical, have sex type dude. And I just think that with Batista, when he first came in, he just really just had to get at it. He had to get them acting chops going. So I just think that he had a smaller learning curve, unlike the other two. But you're right. I never once said we're going to go see this Batista movie day one, no matter what, where we would for The Rock. But I still think Batista's my favorite.
All right. There we go. We got to it. I feel accomplished. You ever do something you feel like accomplished about it? That was me finally bringing him this damn list. I feel good. Now let's get to the show, man. Episode 215 of the TFW podcast. That's freaking wrestling.
Raise the roof.
Best kept secret in wrestling podcast today and yesterday. Shout out to all of our supporters, our freaks out there. First time listeners. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Day 1 listeners. Day 52 listeners. If you listening, you watching, you support us, we appreciate you guys. We love you. Y'all know who we are, man. I'm your favorite talker out here in these streets. Matt, joined by Eshaun, joined by Rhodesia. And we're going to get right to it because I don't know what y'all feel. I don't know what y'all are thinking about when it comes to Clash in Paris. We got on this show last week, and we said we were looking forward to the show. We were going to watch it, but our expectations were a little bit tempered. Ease kind of was because he felt like it was predictable. I think mine's, I can't speak for you, Rhodesia. I think mine's was more just from a perspective of it's another show, right? They've had these shows 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, and it was only a few matches that on paper looked good. Thumbs up for me. Thumbs up show. I didn't think it was as great. So a lot of what I've been watching has been on delay. So I wasn't able to watch it Sunday during the day. So I watched it Sunday night. So I was offline all day on Sunday. And then I wasn't able to watch Raw last night to almost like 11 o'clock. So I was on delay online all day yesterday. So I never really got a good grasp of what people were saying about the show, except for maybe like 30 minutes Sunday night after I watched. And it was a lot of like, could be best show of the year. You know, my favorite show of the year so far.
Oh, wow.
And I think the crowd was tremendous, but that wasn't the best show of the year. I think it hit expectations, you know, but that was about where I really enjoyed the show. Overall, what was your guys' thoughts before we get to, because I want to start with the 4-way, if you guys don't mind. I want to start with the main event, because that's probably the biggest story over these last 24, 48 hours is the Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, AJ of it all. So I think we got to start there. But overall, did you guys enjoy the pay-per-view, the PLE?
Sure. I think it was a really good, solid pay-per-view. But in all fairness, 3 matches I didn't even watch. So is that really fair for me to say? So probably not. From what I've heard from you, they were
great caveat. You're right. Great caveat, because I fast forwarded through the tag match. And then I just wasn't interested in it at all.
The Donnybrook match I heard was slapped. But again, I've seen it a few times already on TV. Again, not taking anything away from it. It was just I didn't need to ingest it. So, but from what I did see, I was highly entertained. When you talk about a lot of these outside of the United States shows, sometimes you just feel like E said, like we've said before, they're just predictable. You kind of just know what you're going to get on these shows. But hell yeah, the crowd. I mean, this last week and a half, the crowd has done an amazing job as far as having us feel it on the other side of the camera. You know, just watching them as they pan back and you do the full panoramic view and you see just people hands moving. It almost looked like but like a video game, how they have it when they pan into the crowd, and like all these people are like this, like 3 different bots just over and over again.
Just over and over again.
Yeah.
They still do that with 2. They still do that with 2K. Now it's just like 12 bots instead of being like the 3 back in the day.
Got it.
The one with the red shirt, the one with the green shirt, and the one with the blue shirt person. One person stand up, the next one next to them sit down. That's all they were doing, just stand up and down. I think Madden still does that too. I gotta think about it. Yeah.
But to that point there, it was like that was amazing. And you can't teach that. I mean, that's just really, really cool to be able to see that. But overall, for the show, it was entertaining. I think it did exactly what it needed to do. I was not upset that I stayed up late to watch the show in any way, shape, or form.
I guess the only one of us that actually watched the entire show, I would say that the show overall exceeded my expectations. The show was, I mean, what happened, the finishes or the winners of the match, I would say, went as expected. But one thing when I watch like WWE programming is that like the matches themselves set up the story or continue the story into the next thing. Right. And so like I feel like a lot of times like the match is just to set up the next storyline bit, which is kind of the opposite of what they're doing over in AEW. But the finishes and the continuation of the story were definitely interesting and definitely intrigued me to want to see what happened on a Monday Night Raw as a continuation. So yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I did. I really, really enjoyed it. So hats off to WWE. Hats off to everybody involved. I mean, it is pretty cool that like they are touring the world. You know, I mean, they've always been, of course, a global brand, but just to see like these pay-per-views and these big shows out of the country and just those fans being able to experience it live and kind of do that whole thing, I thought that was fantastic. 4-way, and I guess really like, I mean, the matches were good. I think that every match I saw, which I saw actually all of them except for, which I completely fast forward through the tag match. I watched the finish of that.
Watched Donnybrook match.
Yeah,
I
I watched the majority of it.
Okay.
But I wasn't like locked in to that. I just personally wasn't like super invested in that match. But I thought everything was really well worked in regards to the matches. Maybe outside of Nikki and Becky, they had a little bit of they had some issues a couple times in that match. But no harm, no foul, because we're moving right along to
Indeed.
something much bigger. No disrespect to Nikki, but we've been waiting on this said return for years and years and years. But that 4-way, Becky Lynch interferes and helps Seth win. I saw negativity on this from, wow, that was too predictable, to, wow, really? You guys couldn't find anybody else? And that's when I was like, okay, you know what? And maybe it could just be me, because I have not had a chance to be on Twitter a lot over the last few days. I mean, maybe the last week. I haven't been able to really be on it like I typically am. So when I go on, it seems like I'm seeing just all negativity, like immediately. And I'm just like, okay, wrestling is much more fun actually when you kind of don't like be on Twitter, because you don't have to see just dumbasses over and over again, like commenting and making their statements. It's like you just have no idea what you're talking about. Just like the whole thing with AJ. Now I'm about to get into tangent. Let's talk about it. Whole thing with AJ. So the news, if you were watching, as soon as Becky helped Seth, and they were raising each other's hands, I think I said out loud, it wasn't common. It wasn't like, oh, you got to be watching this forever and know this. And, oh, AJ's coming back. And I know we've always thought it, and there's been rumors out there, but it all started by like fans, IWC. Like nobody from WWE, I think, ever said like, hey, she was in talks to come back at this show and it fell through, except for now. But to me, that was like common sense. Okay, you have Becky. This is common sense. They're about to do the show on ESPN. This is common sense. This is like a slam dunk if you're going to do it. Then we add that up to Raw on Monday, where Becky puts hands on CM Punk. And he looks down at her towel, looks up at her face and says, you're going to regret you ever did that. We know he's not putting hands on her. And then, of course, we get the backstage segment where Pierce tells him that Seth's left. Punk goes into business about where is SmackDown this Friday. He said, home sweet home Chicago. He's like, perfect. Then there's a report by Song Ross Sapp earlier today saying that, yes, AJ Lee has been in contact with WWE. It looks like she will absolutely be returning, and she'll be wrestling at WrestlePalooza September 20th. And you would have thought the way the internet reacted to this news, from what I saw now, but I saw a lot of it, was there had been no talks on TV about her. There had been no chance. There had been nothing storyline related to where you would think AJ Lee would be coming back September 20th. And it was, oh my God, these spoilers. Can we just let anything just not get out anymore? Like, why does everything have to be known? Maybe get off the internet. Just get off the internet.
Well, if I may interject, I am one of those people. Like, let this happen like it's supposed to happen. I do want the surprise. No, this is not the same thing like people saying who they saw at Royal Rumble City, like, oh, this person must be coming in as a legend, or, like those kind of spoilers. Those I absolutely hate. Like, if they're not doing anything or showing me anything on TV, like, be quiet. Don't post that. Let me just be enjoyed and surprised when they come in as number 26 in the Rumble. But I kind of feel the same way with this too. I know that Sean Ross Sapp posted that, and you, I think, retweeted on our Twitter. Like,
nope. Okay. I didn't want to do that just in case somebody didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
Right. So I try to stay away from doing that.
Where I was
but
getting
if you are online, Rhodesia, you know this.
If
you're online, you are going to see, it'd be different. All right, say like, we just talk about The Rock.
Okay.
Say The Rock is going to wrestle at WrestlePalooza, and he was going to announce it Friday on SmackDown. Say if something like that got out, I get this. Because there's nothing on TV that says The Rock was coming back to wrestle in 2 weeks. Or if Brock Lesnar's return got spoiled. I get it. But something like this, that it is common sense where they are leading toward, and then it comes out, yeah, she signed, and now we're up in arms about it. That's what I'm talking about. To me, it feels a little bit disingenuous. I think it's like clickbaity, because I don't believe they really feel that way. If you watched Raw, you knew AJ Lee was going to return.
That is true in what you're saying, but I'm saying from my perspective, to be able to see him reporting it, and if he knows this information, I know he wants to get it out, he wants to break it, so there's nothing wrong in that, and more power to him. But with that being there, it almost feels like, because of his reputation, that it's a sure thing. So then now I know she's gonna probably show up next week, whereas she kind of always been like this mystique, this something that's just can come out at any moment, at any point. And when we didn't see her at Evolution, then that could probably put me in some kind of way, because would I rather her come back at Evolution versus in just a match with her husband? I mean, to me, it just makes it feel more like unspecial that if she does show up this Friday, because the time is so like finite, like it is going to be Friday, it is rumors, blah blah blah. So if she shows up on Friday, I'm gonna feel like, damn, like I don't mind her showing up throughout this whole campaign they have with each other, but let me kind of somewhat be surprised. Like I said, I'm just from that school of, let me just see it happen when it happens, if she is in the works. And I'm not even on Twitter that much, and that was like the first thing that I saw. So yeah, you say get off the internet. Yes, I could have got off the internet, but I wasn't really on it much to see that.
Yeah, I actually agree with 100% with Rhodesia. I'd rather be a surprise. Now, I think from a Sean's perspective, right? Somebody's gonna break that news, so why not him? Right. And who knows? Maybe somebody wanted to leak that information to kind of drum up some interest for the show. Now, going back to your point as far as watching the show, Matt, as far as if you kind of look at the hints, but I feel like it's different from actually thinking something and knowing something, like right, and actually watching it come to life in front of you. It's a different feeling, right? Because like, oh man, so I knew that was gonna happen. Like, like, it's a different feeling. I knew, versus like when you see it happen, like I was told it was gonna happen. Like, oh, Sean told me on Monday that this is gonna happen on Friday. So it's a little bit of a different like feeling when you're actually watching it live. And I feel like that sometimes like these kind of things takes away from anticipation of things happening. I feel like sometimes we're giving too much too soon. Now, as far as being off the internet, like again, I'm just on there. I don't follow a lot of the same things that Matt does for engagement purposes, right? Like I don't see a lot of like I actually ignore a lot of those type of websites, and I only consume certain content from certain people because I know what it is. Like I try to like look at things that actually gives me good feelings, and like listen to people bitch and moan and drop rumors and stuff that may or may not true. That's not like good content for me. But yeah, I mean, Sean, I follow him, Fightful, like, so it popped right over there, right? So now is it a big deal? Am I like super upset? No, but I'm not a guy who gets upset about little things either. However, I kind of wish that I didn't know for certainty that this popped up, and I was more surprised, like, right? Because it's a different feeling when you actually think about it. It's different. Like just the old comment, like to it's better to think somebody's a fool than know they're a fool. Like it's kind of one of those type of things for me.
It's cool though, outside of just the spoiler piece of it, and we give them shit when it's time to give them shit. Like when it's not good, which has been a lot, if we're being just completely honest, this year with WWE. But there is a point of this where we don't know the end game and the end goals of any of these storylines. Like we knew Cody Rhodes was going to finish the story at some point, so we knew to call that. You could call that. I don't know when it's going to happen. That's going to be the end of this storyline. We knew Roman Reigns was going to lose his championship and then lose his bloodline. We knew that. We didn't know when, but we knew that. So those were like two storylines that you knew where it was going to go. But for them to have AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch penciled in, or maybe etched in stone, for the first ESPN show, now we got to work our way backwards. So what does that look like for Clash in Paris? Because it's got to be great, because we still got 30,000 people going to be there, and they're one of the best crowds ever. So we got to do something great for them. So what does that look like? Okay, so then let's do that. Where we look at it, of course, the opposite. We're like, man, they're running this again. Like, it's common sense. Seth is going to win. Well, Yeah, because the story, we knew Seth was going to win that
Right.
match. But the story ain't got nothing to do with
What they
who's
book him
winning
for.
that match.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
story is Becky Lynch is going to get with her husband so we can set up CM Punk versus AJ in just 3 weeks from now. You know, so that's also a point that it will never get to that because you can only shoot somebody Bell so many times. You know, we were shooting Vince Bell a lot. Let's see it play out. How many times did we hear that? Hey, let's see it play out. It never played out. Never played out. We said that times in AEW. Hell, we've said that this time with this year with WWE. All right, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. And then we kind of don't get anything. We're like, all right, well, that's just a miss in the creative. But they're together, and Becky is doing every week. Once again, you could just put me on.
Where's a round of applause at?
You could put me on just I'll just keep saying the same thing over again. I don't want to do that, but she looks incredible, and I'm talking just from a beauty standpoint, and I'm also talking though from a who she is as a character. Like the look in her face, she looks tremendous. Like she is doing. The women are doing fantastic. They really are right now. We got some great stuff happening with, of course, with her. But I am thoroughly enjoying this Kabuki Warrior story.
But wait, before you go to Kabuki, that is hilarious. We gotta talk about Becky again.
I wasn't done. I was just saying, like the women.
Okay,
We
all
talk
right.
about Bailey. We've been talking about Bailey for 3 weeks straight. We didn't get a promo package this week, which is completely fine from her. But we really been talking about her. We were talking about Naomi's work. She was on Raw.
Yeah.
But now you look at this. You know, you look at, like I said, what they got working with the Kabuki Warriors, all three of them, and what that looks like. Then you got the Rhea of it all. Judgment Day are still doing what they're doing as, you know, as a tag team. We could maybe argue for the first time ever on WWE television, the women are in a better place creatively than the men's roster.
I would probably agree with that. I would also say that a lot of the men booking, it's like they're tied to, they have to tell this particular storyline, where I feel like the women, because they were so bad for so long, I think they had the chance to build and grow like organically. So now they can thread between different things. Like when we bring up just like Judgment Day, or you bring up the Kabuki Warriors and a few different people that's been associated with EO Sky. Like I think it's they're allowing it to grow organically and to bleed into other women wrestlers, where I think the men's side of things is kind of like, no, it's him versus him, then it's him versus him. So I think they have the edge on that. But for a while they weren't. For a while they were an afterthought.
Yeah, I want to go back to Becky and Seth real quick before we fall off the main. I agree with you guys on the women's stuff. We kind of mentioned it before. In what world, right, does AJ not return for this pay-per-view, right? Is there possible, and this is just for like shits and giggles, it's like, is there another woman that could fill this role, to stand next to Punk, to stand up against Beth? Yeah, what did I say, Beth? Becky and Seth?
Answer that
kayfabe?
question, no.
In kayfabe?
Yeah, like just from like from my audience perspective,
kayfabe.
right? Because you know, you mentioned earlier, right? Now if you look at the storyline, but you know, like it's ripe for AJ Lee to stand next to her husband. But in a lot of ways, like AJ Lee they have to reintroduce her to an entirely new audience. Now, there's a lot of wrestling fans from the past know who she is, sure. But you think about it, like she, I believe, retired in 2015, I would say. So she's been off television, out of wrestling for over 10 years almost at this point. And, you know, a lot of the newer, younger fans may not be as familiar with her work, right? Now, again, based on like the reaction we heard from France, but those are probably some hardcore fans that know about her. But what if, and I hope not, right? Because I feel like this is right set up for like AJ Lee. Is there any way that the WWE can be pulling the wool over our eyes, and this is like set up for like, you know, Rhea? You know, now she already has like a ready-made storyline, you know, with the Kabuki Warriors and EO. But is there any other woman that can fill this role be standing next to CM Punk and Usos too.
Yeah, I mean, so if she say if it wasn't,
That would make sense.
If we knew if AJ Lee wasn't AJ Lee, what I mean by that is one being CM Punk's wife, so all of Punk's fans are AJ Lee's fans just through osmosis of that, because he's talked about her and Larry the dog so much. But then you talk about the AJ Lee fans. There are a lot out there that we are that group now. Now we are the group of knowing how great she was as women's champion and what she did in that division and what she was able to do with Dolph and with Big E when they were together and things of that nature. And she, left kind of willingly because, hey, if you don't rock with my husband, I got to go. So you got that segment. But if you take that out, if you take out that is not who she is and she is just a WWE Divas legend, then absolutely you could go Nikki Bella, because that story is the story that's on TV. Right? She didn't cheat to beat Nikki, but they have just been feuding. That would be ready-made. You could go Bayley, because you could argue Becky was the one that has Bayley going through this mind fuck over the last, 6 months because she took her spot at WrestleMania. So that could work. It just wouldn't work because we want AJ Lee. So it can't work.
And I think that they wouldn't allow, like, even the wording, like you said, Punk has said, because now everybody is thinking it's AJ Lee. But there is a world where it isn't her. It is a world that when she walked away 10 years ago, that she said, no matter what, I'm not coming back. Now, of course, Sean Ross I put that she is possibly coming back, but I'm also that type of person. Like, I know she still, like, maybe trains in the ring. I think she even have some ownership of some wrestling.
Hey, real quick, where just to intersect, she walked away, I believe, because of injury. That's why she hasn't. That's one of the bigger factors why she hasn't wrestled. Something's wrong with her back.
So you said there is something wrong with her back, or something not wrong with her back?
There is. She kind of walked away for health reasons as well. I'm not sure if it was specifically Punk. A lot of it was health purposes.
Got it. Because what I remember was that she walked away because of the conflict of interest between her and Punk and WWE.
He fired that man on his wedding day.
But regardless of that, is she able to go in the ring to the standard that she would want to go to? I know that she has some. I think she has some kind of ownership or had some ownership of a wrestling federation for women. So she's still been in the business, not wrestling as talent, but she's been and exposed to it. But
she was on Hills last year. Could have been last year or 2 years ago. The wrestling show that Punk was in and Stephen Amell was in, that was on Stars, and they shot some behind the scenes footage, and she was rocking it. I mean, she was AJ in the ring for the most part, and we know she knows what this looks like. Punk knows what this looks like. Seth knows what this looks like. Becky knows what this looks like. She is not coming back if she cannot hold her own with those three. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't even, for me, that's not even a worry. Like, that's not even a question. Yeah, hell yeah, she is going to be AJ Lee, whatever that looks like right now. Maybe she changes her style up, because I don't think this is a one-off. But I'm saying she won't look like what we've seen before. Like, ooh, maybe she should have had like a couple of warm-up matches, or ooh, you can see the ring rust on her a little bit. I don't think we see that. And Becky's way too good. Becky would hide any type of flaw for the most part that she can.
Hell, she did. I mean, Becky has been doing it, and Matt gave me some really great perspective on Becky. I had mentioned to him, like, that has to be kind of messed up that Becky is being charged with making these legends look good in the ring. And again, I love having Matt's mind when it comes to wrestling. He's like, no, it's a privilege for her. These are her role models. These are some of the people that she's looked up to. These are people who she stands on the shoulders of, these people who came before her. So to be able to dance in the ring with them is a blessing for her. So great perspective there. But when you talk about having people look good, and Nikki Bella, I have to give it to her. Although she kicked the shit out of John Cena, and she forgot who she was wrestling for just a moment. I really feel like...
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I really feel like she was going along, and her conditioning was there. And I was maybe critical about how lean she was with Matt. I was not on air. I never really mentioned her leanness. But with Matt, I'm like, how lean she is. And of course, he's like, that's probably what she wants. That's probably how, what she requires as far as how she wants to look. But
Rhodesia should be one of the best podcasters ever, if she said what she says off mic.
Anyways,
she'd be one of the best podcasters.
Anyways,
I'm sorry, she would be one of the most popular podcasters ever. Because she wouldn't be the best, because some of her takes are outlandish and ridiculous and downright stupid at times. But I'm like, bring that to the show. And then she's like, I don't want to bring it to the show, and people gonna look at me a certain type of way, and I don't even want to be looked like that. But she be having some wild ass takes. And
Anyways,
I'm like, only
Nikki
if you would bring this shit to the show.
It's very lean. And naturally, we think of lean as being conditioned, because she's not skinny, she's lean. And so, but I say all that
But you
to
said
say,
skinny. I'm the one that
yeah,
tell
no,
you.
you're right.
You're right.
You're right.
Don't do that.
You're right.
Don't do
so,
that.
Listen, point and I'm trying to get at with Nikki is, damn, not once did I catch her breathing hard. And she was in there wrestling Becky and John Cena. And she was in there the match probably was at a good 12 minutes, I think. Point is nonstop, regardless how long the match was. She was nonstop. And in my mind, I'm like, man, she hasn't blown up yet. Not breathing hard at all. So I have to give it to someone who hasn't had that many matches on their way back on the second part of their run, to be conditioned that way. And Becky, when you can go in there, and she could be blockade by herself. When she go in there and give CM Punk the business on the mic, brava, lady. Like, she held that promo down. If you had to grade the promos, and Punk allowed her, but Becky overtook that promo and killed CM Punk. When I was watching, she had to, but yeah. So like, we've seen people drop the ball at the beginning of the Raw show. We saw even with LA Knight again dropping the ball.
These are the best of the best. These are the best.
But what I'm saying,
and this promo is setting up the biggest return from a woman that we have wanted as a fan base once again in over a decade. Mm-hmm. She has to nail it. Like, there is no, I'm going to allow you. No, this is your moment, because if you do your job right, people will be screaming for AJ. If you don't do your job right, okay, yeah, we won AJ. That was completely set up for her to, and not to take anything away, but that was the whole point of why it was so good.
But
well,
she
because
did
we got to get to AJ.
But she still did it, and that's what she get the bravo for, because she did do that in the ring with somebody like CM Punk.
Yeah, Becky's really good. I've always thought she's been really good on Mike, especially during the man character. And to some degree, even before the man character, you can see kind of like some slivers of her being a really good talker, being a really engaging talker. So like on Monday Night Raw, it was amazing to see her, do her thing. It's like, and especially this heel character, she's doing such a great job. She's really enjoying the heel character. She feels she's best as a heel, which I don't think she's really been like. The last time she was a heel was Big Time Bex. I don't think Big Time Bex was that good. But she feels more comfortable in this role, and it shows she's doing really well. And again, this is setting up AJ Lee to be very nice. And I agree with you, Matt. Like, I feel like, with wrestling, like, they certainly can hide whatever, if her back's an issue, or she has like some injury issues, or whatever the case may be. They definitely can hide that, because you can look at Jeff Jarrett. Like, them Jeff Jarrett matches back then, y'all ain't seen them Jeff Jarrett TNA matches I had to suffer through for years, man. But he ain't do a lot of nothing.
Your choice.
He ain't. No, I tried. Hey, look, I tried to distract myself back in the day, man. Look, but he ain't do a whole lot. It was a lot of smoke and mirrors in those matches, and they were going on for like 20, 25 minutes, and he was kind of on his feet half the damn time. So I'm sure they can, Becky and the rest of the cast can figure out something to kind of hide whatever, injuries she may have. It's going to be a great time. But I wonder, like, I'm thinking about like Nikki Bella. Like, she was getting like some boos from that Paris crowd, and that Paris crowd seemed like they were like pro almost all baby faces. Like, right? And then it seemed like they were pro almost everything. And I wonder why Nikki Bella, got some of the ire like that crowd. I don't think she's done anything, from a ring perspective. I think she's looked okay. She's like, her finish, she might need to give up a new finish. I don't think she can always execute or get people in the position the correct way. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But I just wonder why she getting booed. I think she even kind of acknowledged it in the tweet. She was saying, thank you for, boo or cheer. It meant a lot for you guys to come out and support during the match. So what do you guys, why do you think she's getting some boos or some flack with this latest run?
Oh, she was crying when she tweeted that. She had to tweet that through the tears. She didn't believe that. Damn, why y'all boo my girl Nikki like that?
I didn't even notice the boos like that.
I did.
Okay, yep, I did.
I think it was the way the match was going was for one, to be honest. Because that crowd was very cognizant of what they were doing at all times. And we'll talk about it next. But they slipped up. They were so wrapped up in the Roman and Bronson Reed match They were booing him the whole match and the entrance and all that, and really giving Roman his props and cheering him. And they were doing it throughout the whole match until Bronson did the
tsunami.
I think he did like a suicide dive outside the ring.
Yeah.
And they slipped up and they clapped.
Yeah.
And they got back on it after like that move. They got back to the boos, but you could just tell like just that quick they forgot. They got lost in the match. They're appreciating what they're seeing. They're going to clap. But I did it, and actually I enjoyed that too. There were a lot of times on both Raw and Clash in Paris where they would actually clap. You know what I'm saying? Like
after like something, like an
like,
applause,
not just cheering, not screaming,
a round of applause,
it was actually applause.
Yeah,
which I was like, that's awesome. But yeah, I think it was the way the match was going, E. And I think that's really what it was. I think if the match was laid out differently, if they would have hit their spots maybe the way they kind of wanted to, they wouldn't have booed. Because to me, that's kind of because the match didn't start with her being booed.
No,
it kind of picked up throughout the match while the match was going. That's why I was like, okay, it could be the way the match was.
And they remembered going into Raw, like that little brief backstage segment she had on Raw. She got a little.
They booed that too.
Yeah,
she got a little. It wasn't super loud, but you listen to it. Io.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she was talking to her, like, I guess congratulating or something like that. She came on the screen. You heard like a little audible boos. Like, ooh.
That's right.
I'm like, damn, is she still getting it?
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
They told Nikki she can't go out there.
Hey, y'all want to talk about that Roman and Bronson match?
All pre-tapes, pal. Absolutely. So all I have to say, because I know I talk about Roman all the time. I am at a point where I'm going to say this.
Know what you saying?
The equity that he built up for himself as the tribal chief character 5 years ago when this whole thing started. And they talked about the whole island of relevancy thing and how that was like a shoot thing, because if you came on the island, you're going to be more known and more recognizable and more popular than when you were off the island. And we can speak to any feud that he's had. For the most part, as champion, they were better off coming out of it than they were going in. Even if you just stood around them, you were better off coming out of it, and it stayed. Unlike Cena, where you would get to the point with Cena and then you would lose Cena and then that was it.
Yeah.
I have never seen a top star like Roman Reigns use the equity that he built up by going undefeated and being champion for that long, giving it to everybody he has been in contact with after that said run. I've never seen this before. You look at the equity he is building with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. If we start with just Bronson Reed, because that was the match. We talked about it last week. 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 8 years ago, if you would have said at a pretty big pay-per-view in 2025, it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. You don't tell him anything about the storyline. You don't tell him who's the babyface. You don't tell him who's the heel. You don't say nothing about Paul Heyman. You just say that. We would laugh and be like, what? And I'll be damned if Bronson Reed does not look like he belongs, and he is much bigger right now than he was 72 hours ago before that match started. That is something that Roman seems, in my opinion, to make sure he does that with. Look at Cody. Cody's bigger coming out of it. You know, like, so now Roman's that guy. And unfortunately, I don't think there's anybody in the WWE that can make Roman any bigger than what he is right now. It could have been The Rock, potentially, if we would have got Rock Roman, 2 years ago. Maybe it could have been The Rock. At that time, I don't know if he would have made Roman bigger, but Roman is that guy. And him and Austin, the money to me, if Austin's got one more match, it would be Punk. That's the money match. I think Roman is now in a spot where he can't really elevate any higher through working through somebody else, but he damn sure is going to make sure everybody's elevated when they are working him, because Bronson Reed is out of here. Braun Breaker putting the boots to him and the spear, he's out of here. Anybody who he works is going to be out of here. I just wanted to shout that out. You guys are talking about the match, but he is a master at what he is doing right now with his career, the crowd control that he has, where he knows. I told Rhodesia, like, you know, it took him about 3 minutes to start the match, and you can tell
Still faster than normal.
Roman told Bronson, "Don't move until I move." Right? The bell would ring, and Roman would just stand there. The crowd is there. And I'm not gonna cut the crowd off, right? And they went damn near an hour. I don't know if Roman was like, "Look, we need one of them old Bloodline specials where we just take over our TV." But that was what they did. Pre-match, match, post-match, they went damn near an hour. I was like, man, this restored the feels right here. I wonder why the show was damn near
or something like that.
4 hours and 40 minutes, which was wild. But yeah, shout out to him. I know that was a little bit of a tangent, but that's just what I get when I see him, because I see the work that is being done to elevate everybody that he interacts with.
I just echo everything that you said. I was happy that the match was in the beginning, because to the point of it took some minutes to get it started and get it going. Again, his recipe of how he does his matches, which evidently it works, because like you said, don't cut the crowd off. But I'm happy to get that in the front of the show and not to end the show when I've already have watched a lot of matches. So I guess I'm okay with those type of matches, just where they're placed at on the card. But other than that, you're right. I mean, Bronson came out looking bigger, better. Hell, even Paulie was looking better overall. Just in the storyline itself, Paulie is like, wow, he has another ability to have another group important again. Like, you know, at one point you're going to strike out. You're not going to bat 1,000. Something's going to happen. But nope, he's
Curtis
uplifting.
Axel.
He's
Cesaro. That was
so can we say the talent?
Outs.
Can we blame the talent on that? I'm not gonna blame the talent, because I'm not a wrestler, so I'm not gonna do that. But someone would say, well, considering those two people you just said, the talent just wasn't there.
I'm not gonna hold you guys. I think I've said it multiple times on the show, or I've insinuated. I'm not a match guy. So like this hour long like match, like they could have cut about 30 minutes off of it for me. I think it would have been a lot better.
Big time. 30 minutes.
Like yeah,
they should have been spear, Superman punch. And
yeah, like this, like no, like an hour match, man. They could have gave me, they could have gave me a good hot 20 minutes, and I would have been just fine. They gave me 20 minutes of a match, and then they could have gave me another 10 minutes of all the shenanigans afterwards. I think it would have been just fine. Like
that's close to what it was, though.
Yeah,
like the 45
no.
minutes or hour was including the signing of the shoes and throwing the shoes off and the stretcher job. That was
hell no.
By the time they went to black,
that was about
commercial.
That was about 10 minutes.
It was like 7:46, I think. The time I was.
That was about 10 minutes. I'm like, man, this match is going on forever and ever. But look, you know, and I'm all for Roman and the storytelling stuff. Like that much went way too long for me. Like I didn't really get into the match until like the last probably 10 minutes of the match, and then I really enjoyed, of course, the afterward. That like again the stuff that actually extended the story. Wow, talk about, you know, I'm not gonna say it. I've already said too many pause worthy things on the show already.
My man,
so
you're doing a great job of censoring yourself. We appreciate you.
But yeah,
we appreciate that.
You know, I can't do it.
I'm interested now.
No, we good. Text her. Yeah, there you go, man. There you go.
I gotta do a quota, man. I gotta do a quota because people can start thinking. Because we live in a strange world, man. I ain't trying to encourage a lot of things, man. But
there's a lot of people I need to switch.
Man. This man's on the stretcher, laying on his back. You know what I'm saying? And it's something. It's a story and an art to a man laying on his back and putting somebody over. And you know, and he did it that night, man. You know,
Matt
and
does
he
that to me often.
I'm really trying to censor myself, man. But yes, you know, but he did a lot. Just laying him down on his back for Bronson Reed. And he looked like a monster, right? Because Bronson lost the match. And Bronson came out of that match. He didn't lose anything. Like, again, as you said, Matt, he gained a lot, right?
Yeah.
He gained a lot. He looked like a monster. Braun Breaker came out. He looks like a monster. Like, those two guys look like the sky is the limit for those two guys. Man, they just look great coming out of that. And it makes me wonder what's next for like Roman when he comes back. But he got to get his comeback. But he's just lost to both those. No, wait. Braun Breaker lost to Jay, I think, in a singles match, right?
Well, but we know none of that. You're not going to remember that by the time Roman gets back from filming the movie, right? What you're going to remember is he got stretchered out by the Braun and Braun show. So now the question, which is great, is do they run back him and Reed, or do they go somehow they skip him and Reed and they go then to Braun? Because now we got limited amount of days. We're going to assume Roman's going to be back for War Games. So maybe we get a War Games match, which we could easily do with Roman's team versus Seth's team if you wanted to go that way. And then you got the Rumble and WrestleMania, et cetera, et cetera. That could be the way that they go. But you brought up Braun Breaker. And I know we had a conversation on last week's pod where I was talking about them feeling like they're holding Braun in a holding pattern. This is what I was talking about. They have not been doing with him. And yeah, you would say, but Matt, he's been spearing people from the entrance ramp. No, but it's not to somebody like Roman Reigns. They put him in a different spotlight on Sunday than what they have been doing. So when I was talking about they had him in a holding pattern, this is what I'm talking about. He should no longer be now in a holding pattern. We'll see how this whole thing plays out with Jay, because Jay got laid out, lost last night, gets beat down. We get the return to Jimmy, huge pop, which was fantastic. Jay talking about, I can't do it without you. Jimmy talking about, I'm here, man. I'm here. So now we know we got the reuniting of the Usos. Going to assume you got two guys here. You got Seth working with his wife. You got a ready-made feud for some good TV. Usos versus Braun and Braun. And then you can do the whole Roman thing and we can set up War Games. So I am looking forward to that. But this is now where I expect Braun to where I thought he was going to be the week after WrestleMania when he aligned with Seth and Paul Heyman.
Man, you got to take it easy,
we're about to
brother.
get it right now.
You got to take it easy, Bubba.
Yep.
Bubba, you got to take it easy, man. Braun can't wrestle Roman every week, man. He game to, man. Like, look, he about to wrestle another tag team match against the Usos. Like, right, this is kind of along the lines of what he's been doing this entire time. It's a slow build they're doing with this young man. The slow build they're doing this young man against hot talent. Like, he has been in a hot picture with everyone for the past since he's been in the division. Now, I think overall, Braun and Bronson are continuing to elevate themselves and stepping outside of the Seth's shadow, because like they've able to do some things on their own away from Seth, right? They've kind of done a good job in the past couple of weeks of kind of separating Seth and then like the guys, right? Because before, you had Braun on the left, you had Bronson on the right? Both in black suits. Seth is standing in the front with his colorful gear. So he's the one standing out, and those two guys are in the shadow, right? But we've seen over the past couple of weeks them kind of guys stepping out doing their own thing. Like, right, like kind of continue to make their own names, right? And I think it's a slow burn, and I think we're going to get Braun to where he needs to be. But he can't. I mean, it's only so many guys that's of Roman's stature that can continue to elevate everyone around him. And part of the reason why Roman's not around so often, right? So like when he does pop up on the screen, you hadn't seen him in weeks, months. Right. So when you're hot for him, right? And the last thing he did was great. He's charismatic. He looks good. You don't get enough of it. So when you get it, you're like, God damn, it's a treat. Like, right. So the people who are interacting with them also, it's a treat. So like, yeah, like you gotta slow down, man. Braun gonna get there, man. He gonna get there. He's like, this Uso thing is gonna be great. Like, right. Because like the synergy between the twins has always been phenomenal. And for me, when we talk about like the Usos reuniting, this is what they reunite for. I don't think they reunite to fight the New Day again. Like, right, that's not what you do. Like, right, I want to see them reunite to take on like a big threat like what we have right now with the Bronze running roughshod, taking out Big Cuz. Like, yo, now they double teaming me. I need my bro back. Yo, I need you, bro. Let's go get these guys, right? So maybe we can have a couple of serious matches with these two huge threats. I think that's much more significant than them trying to win a tag team title for like the 25th time. So I think this is a perfect way to set up to do a reuniting of the Usos. I do think overall that that Jey Uso still right now in this moment is bigger than the tag team division. I think he's like, if they want to group them together and team together, take out these threats, I think perfect. But I think after they're done with whatever they're doing with the vision, you keep on, Jimmy on one brand, Jay on the other brand.
You know, Roman and Paul had the same hospital bed room. Anyways, Matt, I think
You can't do that. No, you cannot do
why
that.
can't I do
Rhodesia.
that? I was
You
just thinking about the
cannot say a
hospital.
line that
When he said-
nobody
Well, if
would
they're
know what
watching
you're
the
talking
show,
about.
if they're watching the show, then
And
if they're
then move
listening to this
on.
show, okay, all right.
You don't know what it came
I'm
from?
not about to belittle or make our crowd feel less than that, because if they're watching and listening to us, they probably saw the show. But let me elaborate. So
Yeah, there you
on Monday
go.
Night Raw, they bring up the fact that they done beat up Big Cuz. Big Cuz is laid up in a hospital room in Paris. Then they talk about how Paulie is laid up in a hospital room in Paris. And I just said they're in the same room together. Anybody check on them? So there you go. Is that better? That punchline don't even sound as funny.
You forgot I was the one that said it?
I was the one who said it.
I said it. And then I said,
I almost
remember,
called you a bad
and then
name right
I
now.
said, because they could run promos like they used to back, and use like they used to back in the day. I was like,
No,
exactly.
I said they were in the same hotel, in a hospital room. I
Okay,
said that.
But point
maybe
is,
you added-
if this
Wait,
was
let me
like
finish
old
you
Attitude
talking.
Era, they would share, like how they had the Mr. Sacco, Vince McMahon, and Stone Cold, and that
In the
old
same
fateful
room.
September night on Raw, like when it was all in the whole. Actually, that was in Michigan too, as a matter of fact.
That was Michigan. Okay.
That was Michigan.
Anywho's,
Yeah, that was Grand Rapids.
I'm still.
But that'd be good TV if
That would be
Heyman
great
and
TV.
Roman was in the same hotel room. One
Hospital.
can't talk because he got choked out. Roman, he got broken ribs, right? So he
Yeah.
can't move. So they can't fight.
No, they can't fight.
That would
Point-
be some good segments. That's old school wrestling right there.
Point is, I 100% still fine with Braun Breaker's pacing. I don't think that he was in a holding pattern. What I think that they also didn't solve for, and then we can leave this topic, was how good Bronson was going to be when he had the opportunities to get on the mic to challenge Roman or to hold the crowd. I just don't think they thought that Bronson was able to step into that role and pull that role the way he did. And he shot up too. So again, not saying that he did it all on his own. Hell no. But the point that I'm making is that I don't think they realized how much he was going to skyrocket too as well. That probably could have outshined Braun Breaker just a tad bit. But again, I still don't think it was a holding pattern. We talked about it for a hot second the other night. But we shall see now how this looks. But we know that they're going to go into the tag match. And what E had said, as far as I don't want to see really Jay in a tag match, I still don't either. But I think if we had to get Jimmy and Jay back together again, this would be a worthy cause for him stepping down from a single former champion back into a tag partnership. I'm okay with that. Now, after that, maybe after War Games, I don't think that should be something that we have for the foreseeable future.
And this is what I talk about when I talk about like the care around storylines and how when there were cracks in the WWE creative, it was clear as day. Let's just take Jey Uso. Take his creative from January to April. Out of nowhere, he said he wants a title match or he wants to be champion. Then he takes on Gunther at Saturday Night's Main Event, taps out, he loses.
And Armageddon.
Right? We do that whole thing that we talked about. And we're just like, man, this feels disjointed. Now let's look at the care that's happening with Jey Uso's storylines now. Let's just work from Monday night. He reunites with his brother. His brother had to come save him because his big cousin, who always had his back until they was beefed out, the head of the table, the tribal chief, untouchable, got destroyed. He comes out to try to help said big cousin, big brogues, you don't mess with family. He gets destroyed to the point where that's how, and that's the reason why, kayfabe-wise, he lost the Fatal 4-Way match the night before, is by helping his cousin. Storyline makes sense. Okay, it's Jay's and Jimmy's time now because he is by himself.
No,
He
not
has
the night before,
nobody.
same night.
Same
Right?
night.
Same night.
Same night. It just all, this is what happens when you actually make a plan and say, okay, how can we protect Jey Uso? Let's think about this. We got to get to Braun and Braun versus the Usos. What does that look like? Okay, and then you start thinking about it. That's completely different than Jay coming out, cutting a promo, and say the beatdown doesn't happen at all on Monday. And he says, Big Cousin's out, yeet. They do that whole thing, right?
He's in the hospital
Big
next to
Bone,
Paul.
he can't breathe, yeet,
Yeet.
right? It's only one answer I got. And then Jimmy's music hits. You'd be like, okay, cool. Usos back together. But when you do it with care and you think through everything, this is what we get. Same thing with Roman. Exact same thing with Roman. All right, we got to write you off. How can we maximize the write-off? I think you said earlier, Bronson Reed lost. Anybody remember that? Nobody's going to remember that. All you're going to remember from Clash in Paris is the shot of Roman getting stretchered out.
Yeah. I don't think
And there's a thing also in wrestling when it comes to the stretcher jobs.
Yeah.
You ain't doing a stretcher job just for anybody.
I don't
Well,
think I've
not in
ever
WWE
seen
anyway.
Roman get stretchered out.
That's my point.
Ever.
Sheamus and Rusev. Second time Sheamus has tapped out in his career, right?
In his career.
He ain't tapping out to just anybody.
Second time he tapped out in his career. Sheamus has been wrestling since 1950, as E would say. Like, he's been wrestling for 20 years himself on WWE TV. And you talking about that was the second time he's tapped out?
Gotta make it special. What's the reason why we're doing 4 matches in 6 weeks or whatever it is, right? You gotta better have something strong to finish this with, to blow this feud off. I'll tap out.
Yep.
I give that to him. That's like one of my best friends in real life. I got it. You got it. I'll tap to you. That's just that. That's the good shit. That's when this is happening. It's going right, and that's why you can tell what it's just not.
Hey, did y'all know that Sheamus is damn near 50 years old?
Yeah,
he has to. He's been working since what 2000 and
I would say like
he's probably been working since 2001, right? Somewhere around there.
No, not that long.
I was saying 2000.
You don't think so?
No. Yeah, Rhodesia gonna look it
Google's
up.
over.
But no,
Google
and the reason why I say that so when back in July when I was watching wrestling with my nieces and nephews, they were talking about Sheamus, like, man, that old ass man. They say old ass man. They said, oh, that old man. I'm like, well, no. I'm like, Sheamus ain't that old. I looked up, like, oh damn, he damn near 50. I'm like, wow. Like, to me, he doesn't look like a 50-year-old man. And like, AJ Styles again, right? And we talk about kudos to like the Paris crowd, like actually giving that man like his props, like right, like the applause that he got and the pop he got was exactly what a man of his stature, his career should have.
That was cool.
I know he has some rough years from a creative standpoint to where he got a little stale, but for me, since he's been back, I'm like, man, I want to see AJ because like AJ looks to be some of the best, shape of his life. Like I don't know what we call him, AGH. AGH Styles or something like that. Like whatever it is. Man,
he's lay off the steroids.
It's got to be. What's crazy about his pop? He got the biggest pop of the entire weekend, including Clash in Paris. They didn't cheer for nobody else for 3 straight minutes. When they came back from commercial and they were still cheering, I was like, no, this is lit. They gave him what he deserved, man. Yeah, like he's
had a hell of a career. Because like we talk about like some of the best workers ever. I don't think we put AJ Styles up there. He should. AJ Styles has been one of the most consistent wrestlers and then exciting wrestlers for a really long time, man. Like you guys miss his TNA stuff, but he was doing some phenomenal work there, right?
No pun intended.
And then, moving on to New Japan and then back to the company. And I think that you think about it, like AJ Styles, his story is probably something really great. Cause he's a smaller guy, like, right? He's a smaller guy who won over Vince McMahon. Like, right? Because you would look at AJ Styles, the way he wrestles, the way he looks, that he wouldn't be a Vince guy, right? Not to say I don't know if he was or not, but he got a hell of a he got a hell of a run under Vince.
You know what's funny? You say that, so I'm trying to decide if I want to argue your point about he's not spoken about when we talk about like the best workers. I'm trying to figure out if I want to argue that. But what I can say though, but I think you're right. Like I think when you're talking about hardcore fans, he's mentioned, but I think he's never mentioned with the group that would say Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, which is interesting because I was going to say it's because his prime was in TNA. But I could say you could argue if you just took his WWE run, if you wanted to say he's one of the best workers in wrestling history, you could get away with saying that.
He's said that his psychology was to another degree once he got to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said in the interviews. But you know, we talk about like some of the best workers in the world. We always talk about who? Kenny Omega. We talk about Seth Rollins. Like, right, we don't put AJ Styles in the same equation. And he, again, phenomenal. Like, right, like he is so crisp. Like everything he does is crispy and it looks good. I don't think he gets enough credit. I don't
Is
actually
it
even hear a lot
because
of
he's
wrestlers
not
talk
a main
about him either.
eventer? Is it because he's not a legit month in, month out, year in, year out main eventer?
But you know, for a number of years he was, I would say, like, right, especially
In
on the Vince
WWE?
run. Like, oh yeah, remember he had the championship for quite some time, right? And he had one of the wackest catchphrases that I've ever heard. He's on SmackDown. He's like the champ that runs the camp or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's horrible.
But I mean, but even yeah, we probably may have to go back and think about that.
The
Because
face
you're
that
right.
runs the
Because
place.
you talk about Kenny. Kenny was world champ everywhere he was at. You know, outside of this run, for the most part, Kenny kept the belt on him when he was in his prime. Absolutely the same with Seth. Orton. Yeah, I guess any of the other guys we will look at, because we just talked about it last week. Shelton Benjamin, or 2 weeks ago, right? Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, those guys. Shelton should be known as one of the best workers. And we don't really mention him. We just put him in the underrated because he didn't have the titles. Right? So it's like, okay, so you're over here. You're in that bucket.
His career was kind of underwhelming too. You look at how physically gifted he was and how good he was in the ring. Like, he had a very underwhelming. And like I think right now at 50 years old or whatever he is, I think he might be over 50. This is the best he's ever been booked in AEW. Like, he's booked like a big grizzly veteran. Like, right, power. He's built almost like a monster. Right? He's like a legit 6'3", 6'4", like 260 something pounds.
I would say I agree. I think this is the best he's been booked since the world's greatest tag team with him and Charlie Haas when they were with Kurt Angle. And that was, of course, at the beginning of his WWE run.
Yeah.
For sure. Rhodesia, you got some over there?
Yeah, it's fun just going and back in time and just seeing someone bio in their resume, and like this shit doesn't happen overnight, and like all the hard work that they put in before all the mileage they put on their body before we even see them on TV. But first time he ever showed up on WWE TV was in Manchester in 2006. He was part of a security team to kick D-Generation X out, and Triple H pedigreed him. So that's the very first time we saw him on TV. And then he joined.
Who's him? Pronouns, pal.
We talking about Sheamus. That was what I was looking up.
I know, but we went on like 3 different tangents
God.
since
We
then.
started talking about AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So Sheamus, first time we saw him on regular television, was getting pedigreed by Triple H because he was part of a security team of local legends trying to get him out of the ring or out
Do
of
you have his debut match with WWE?
The only thing I could find that was legit, because I didn't want to use AI, the best I could find was an FCW. He had a match in
And what year was that?
In 07.
So 07. Okay, so 07 is what you're saying.
Yeah. Against Brian
So
Kelly.
18 years? All right.
And now keep in mind, I've been reading up on the stuff that he was doing prior to that. So like I said, these people put so much wear and tear on their body before we even get to see them.
I had a incredible segue when E was talking, but then I wanted to make sure we closed the Sheamus thing.
Oh,
I had an incredible segue, and I can't use it now.
Yeah, let's rewind.
That was great.
Last thing
Still
you said?
can't use it.
Boom. Come on.
I still can't use it.
Come on.
Hey, real quick. So
Yes.
I did a little deeper.
Okay.
So he his first run was in 2009.
2009. All right. Well, it's before 2010. I don't know why I had him like
ECW too in 09.
Mm-hmm.
He was ECW 09.
I know I am in the minority on this. I have to be. Logan Paul. I promise I don't have a personal gripe against Logan Paul at all. I don't. I don't have a hard on against him or anything like that. And I know it probably comes across like I do. I am astonished, Rhodesia, at how I don't see what evidently the majority of critics and analysts see in Logan Paul. Logan Paul is one of the better athletes in professional wrestling. Can never take that from him. He has the look. He's got the following. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about being a professional wrestler. Once again, I know I'm in the minority. I won't say that again. He wrestles like a created character in a video game. To me, when I watch Logan Paul wrestle, I just see impressive moves after impressive move after impressive move. And maybe we'll use a selfie stick. We'll ham it up a little bit. And we'll just throw some more impressive wrestling moves in. It just feels like that's all it is. Like I picked up a controller and I'm playing 2K and I just want to see all the cool moves. And I'm just going to do all the cool moves. And maybe that's a sit down powerbomb in minute 3, or maybe that is a lariat clothesline in minute 8, but it's impressive and I'm just going to hit these moves. The amount of kudos I saw in that 30 minutes where I was on Twitter Sunday night about this match, and particularly about Logan Paul and what he did, I thought they were joking at first. And it wasn't horrible. Like, he's not a horrible wrestler. He's never going to be in a horrible match. What I'm saying is, it seems like people are comparing him to Kurt Angle in regards to how quick he's picking up the business. They have compared him to Ronda Rousey in her first year run, which I would put up against any rookie first year wrestler in history. Go back and watch those matches. I don't get that from Logan Paul. I get a guy who looks the part, can talk. When it's bell time, we are putting moves together. We're doing moves. That's what this is. We're doing moves.
Did you have a question? Or
no? I just wanted to say that.
What I will say about Logan Paul, this is probably the first match I've watched of his in the last couple years. And it was because of John Cena. And I actually still try not to watch a lot of the match, but it was fun. It was entertaining. And I can't come on here and say that that was not a good match. Maybe I should word that differently. What I would say is, you're right. It's move after move after move after move. Spot, high spot, high spot after high spot. And I like those kind of matches. So for me, I have nothing against that. I encourage it. I like it because it keeps me entertained and excited throughout a match. With that being said, give that man all his accolades as being an athlete, being agile, taking chances and doing moves. But that's it. Because like you said, as far as like maybe telling a story in the ring or the psychology of putting on the match, it's not there. And it's not there yet. And it's still okay because he's only been wrestling for a few years. And he doesn't wrestle every single week. So part of that, if I could take my personal feelings that I don't like Logan Paul out of it, because I don't like him. But if I could take those personal feelings out of it, I would have to give him some grace because he hasn't been wrestling for a long time. And he is a superstar. I mean, John Cena was it John Cena who clowned him who said you're no longer at the top as far as the most entertaining people? Or was somebody else called him out on that?
Influential.
Yeah. So I love that. I love how he called him out on that. But I have to give him a little bit of grace there because that takes time to learn. Just like how we saw 2 weeks ago, Cena just said, shut up, stop talking. And then the next go around, we saw him that he was a little bit more control. Like when he first was getting into the ring or when he was watching before the match started, he wasn't as crazy over the top Logan Paul as he normally would have been. I thought he should have got out the ring when Cena got in, but that's neither here nor there in that argument. I just think that he needs more time to learn that part of the wrestling because he has the look. He can talk punchlines on the mic. He's not afraid of the mic. Let me say that. He's not afraid of the mic. And he's agile and athletic. So give him time to build to that. It seems like he is all into wrestling. Maybe not wrestling every week, but it seems like he's committed to that. And I give him props for that. it does take me back a little bit sometimes when you hear all of the big wrestlers, even like John Cena, talk about how great Logan Paul is and how quick he gets it. Maybe again, it's something that only really wrestlers can see as far as how much he's progressed. Again, comparing him to Kurt Angle was an Olympic gold medalist. Like, that's not even fair. Don't even put him in the same category. I understand one is scripted and one is not, but don't even put him in the same category as Kurt Angle. But give him a little bit of grace as far as learning how to work a match. But as far as all of the other things that we want out of a wrestler, he has it. I just don't like him.
I just want to say that, Logan Paul's first match was June 30th, 2022.
Yep,
so he's only been wrestling. Yep. And so we talk about he's in main event match after main event match, regardless of who's across from. He's actually able to give a entertaining match in 3 years. There's guys that have been wrestling for 15 years. They can't do what he's doing in the ring. And this is not me. I don't have a personal stake on Logan Paul either way. Like, right? I'm just saying, I'm just giving you facts. I'm not talking to you about my personal opinion of the man. Like, I don't know anything about his history. Like, most of what I know from him is as a wrestler. So I don't know none of his YouTube boxing stuff and none of that other stuff like that. I'm talking about from what I see from a dude who's been in the ring in a limited capacity for 3 years, wrestling John Cena, right, on a big stage in front of a rabid fan. And the match was really good. So I just gotta ask you a question, man. At this point, man, I need to know, like, let's keep it real on the podcast. Like, ain't nobody listening. It's just us three talking, just friends, right? Your husband and wife. What Logan Paul do to you, bro? Like, cause you know what I'm saying? Cause I know the minority, man. Like, you're not blind, man. Like, I wear glasses. You don't. You know what I'm saying? So you actually see what's happening. You understand how long he's been wrestling. You understand the matches that he's been putting on. So you can't really have his opinion unless this man has really done something to you personal, man. So lay it out, man. Tell me what Logan has done to you, man. Like this, I mean, like did he shade you at a convention, man? Did you see him at an event and he ain't shake your hand, brother? Let me know what he did to him, because I want to know too. I would not like him. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you got beef, if you got beef, Big Daddy got beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna figure it out, man. Cause let me know, because if I need to roll up on him. You know what I'm saying? Because this ain't the first time I had to be bodyguard to Matt. Like, y'all don't know. We was at a wrestling show, and I think where were we in Ohio?
Yeah, it was Toledo. It was a SmackDown.
It was Toledo, right? This little young guy was trying to cut lines, and Matt just said, "Hey, brother, the line that way." He was started rolling up on Matt, talking big junk, man. So I looked at Matt. I looked at the man. I said, "Hey, bro, you better back the fuck up." You know what I'm saying? Like, I stepped to him, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because Matt need a bodyguard in that moment. So if that's what I got to do today, man, because Logan Paul done did you shirty, let me know, man. It's just us talking.
That's funny. That story is about 92% accurate. That story was legit, like 92% accurate. I think Matt still talk about that story.
He sure did.
No, you know what, man? It's not. If he wouldn't have gotten the complete accolades that I saw online, I'm not even bringing this up.
Mm-hmm.
I would have came on here and said it was an entertaining match. It was fun. I love seeing Cena do the finishes of the guys. When he did the end of days, I popped hard because I was like, yo, that's really cool that him and Baron Corbin either shared something, inside the ring or outside the ring, for him to do that move. And he did the Styles Clash and he even talked about it afterwards. Like, in this run, he can only wrestle so many people. So he wants to start throwing stuff in and kind of give shout outs to people that really meant something to him or, inspired him and something like that. So I thought that was fantastic. That's what I would have came here and talked about. When I saw everybody just talking about how can't miss he is and how incredible he is and he's doing this, I just don't see it. Once again, it's good matches. I'm not saying they're not good matches. Never once did I say they're not good matches. And I never said he can't put on wrestling moves. It just feels like a video game when I watch it. And maybe what that is we are missing the emotional part of his matches.
Could be.
That could be what I am missing. You do those same matches, but if I know legit emotion is in that match, maybe that is 100% what I'm missing.
But see, that's why I call a spade a spade. Because we would come on these shows and y'all would slob on the knob about these AEW shows with these meaningless matches that they just put together a day before the show, right? And we sitting there watching 8 hours of a pay-per-view, And I'm saying, these matches is just a bunch of spots. And then Matt like, oh, you're hating, right? When we talk about video games and spots and spots and spots, what's different than what we was watching AEW?
Okay. The only knob I'm slobbing on is one person.
Hey,
No,
let me know.
let's do that.
Okay, see, listen. All right.
That's
See,
number one.
Hey.
Let's get that out of the way.
You know what I'm saying?
Mr.
We lit
10
down.
inches, you have no room. You have no room, Mr. 10 inches, to
I
talk
was
about who's
talking
going
about
too
the
far.
submarine
inches has
sandwich, young
no
lady.
And then
Submarine
Forbidden
sandwich.
Walls,
Bless,
talking about
man.
her Aunt Flo is visiting. Don't do that.
No, I
Don't
don't.
do
That
that.
wasn't
I
me.
got
That was
receipts
somebody
over
else on
here.
the show. That wasn't me.
Point is,
Mr. 10 inches, you
I
have
have
no room.
always said that I
is-
love
That may
matches
be one
like
of the
that.
craziest lines in
I think
history.
the majority of
TMW
people,
podcast.
I think the majority of people would say that I was crazy.
God bless, man.
That
I promise you.
match after match after match after match, high spot after high spot after high spot, fine and all that. That ain't how you put on a wrestling match. There's no difference in what Matt is saying right now as far as Logan Paul, because you could put on a match. I think Matt's probably saying kind of true to what he's felt as far as putting a match together. I'm saying I can't hate on Logan because that type of match, that wrestling style, is the style that I like. But at the end of the day, in the whole totality of wrestling, you can't get anywhere with there because there is no emotional investment in that kind of a match. And I think that's what Matt was saying there. But
Well, and the other thing, real quick, the other part of it is these aren't high spots. These are just wrestling moves. So, Eve, you wanted to use, which we haven't had that conversation since 2024, but get your shit off. Get your shit off. In AEW, there would be high spots. We know the high spot matches, right? The Young Buck special. We know those type of matches. That's different than what Logan Paul is doing. He's still working the WWE style. He's working the WWE timing. It is just move for the sake of a wrestling move. That's what I'm talking about. When he learns, and it's not psychology. That's not the part. You're in there with John Cena. I am sure John Cena took him to school in the most respectful way. Not
he took
saying
us to
he's
school.
trying to show him up.
We heard him.
Oh my God.
We heard Cena.
How do I still hear you with 30,000 fans in France that will cheer and sing and chant?
They mic'd up.
All
That ring
night.
is mic'd up. That ring is mic'd up.
Dude. I mean,
But
I told Rhodesia when we were watching E, as season 2, Unreal on Netflix, show me John Cena mic'd up in that match. Now let's really get to the shit. So if we want to get to it, we want to start showing stuff. Let's show that. Have the referee with his
he's
camera
Unreal.
and his
Listen,
microphone,
listen,
so I can hear John
Listen
Cena
to John
calling every
Cena as
spot.
like in NBA games where they like show us commercials of
Yes,
like
yes.
CP3 talking on the
Yes.
sidelines. That's what
That's
it do
what I
sound
wanna
like,
see.
man.
That's what
But,
I
you
want
know,
to see.
But I'm just curious we have these Logan Paul conversations. Like your GOAT John Cena was singing this man's praise about how good he is and how much
I
he's
said
accomplished things
that.
of that nature.
I said
Like,
that.
right? So if it like to come on the show and say you don't see it, but your GOAT see it, like it gotta be some person, man.
No.
Like, listen, we can talk about it offline, man. We can talk about it offline because, like, look, I'll handle them.
And I didn't say I didn't
I'll
see it.
figure
I
it
just
out.
said he wrestles like a video game character. That's all I said. And I believe that. And to your point, that's why I started by saying I know I'm in the minority. I know I'm in the minority. Eric sent me a DM and we were talking and he was saying how he was impressed with the match. And I said the same. I was like, dude, I know I am in the minority on this. I am just not as entertained as everybody else is. To compare him to Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey, I was emotionally invested in them. Maybe it's all me. It could just be me.
At this point, Logan Paul, I would think, is further along than Ronda Rousey was. Because Ronda Rousey had a couple of good matches early on, right, with Kurt Angle and Triple H in there. You know, but you want to talk about the matches that followed after those? It's not stacking up against what Logan Paul is doing.
No.
And again, and this is the one thing, because I'm not taking, like, as far as psychology and all this, like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about psychology. I've never been in the ring. Like, I can't talk about psychology. I'm not going to do that. However, I'm going to talk about from an entertainment perspective as a someone who's watching the match. Like, right, is it entertaining, or do I like it? Am I engaged in what's happening? Like, Logan Paul does the job, and he's done it faster. So you talk about like a Kurt Angle or even a Ronda Rousey. You talk about people who have actually come to the business relatively quickly and been put in big positions and big matches, and they were able to deliver very early on. Like, you can't take some of these dudes from NXT with the same type of experience and put them in that position, and they're going to perform like Logan Paul was. Let's just keep it real. Like, right? Like, he's done with limited experience and like probably limited training is pretty darn interesting. Like, he has picked up wrestling very quickly, a la Kurt Angle. Like, right? Like somebody who's picked up like the nuances of character work, microphone, and be able to, be interested in the ring. Like, again, I'm not talking about psychology or any of those things. Like, is the match engaging from this me watching as a fan? Check. Microphone check, microphone checker.
Rhodesia, you made a comment about Logan like emoting a little too much, 2 weeks ago, and then he calmed it down last week. If only there was a podcast that mentioned that last week. You know what I mean? If only there was a podcast that said that was a shoot and he was teaching him on the fly. You got to lay out, let the babyface get his shit in. And that,
that guy looked like an asshole standing there listening to that man undressing like that. He just looked like he was just standing there looking at him. And John Cena just going in again. This is one of them things that like, hey, it's awesome that us on TWF podcast. TWF. Oh, I can't get our own name out. TFW. And here's the thing. The funny thing is, I'm actually looking at it right now. So this is what I know. It's that time when my brain's cutting off. Cause look, we had a time difference too. Like it's like 8:00 in the daytime for them. They crispy. Like me, I've been up
for Logan. You talking about?
He can't even name his own podcast. That shit is wild. That explains so much, though.
Not only can I name it, I can't even read it. Cause I'm looking at it right now, and I still can't even get the letters out, man. So that's why I know we hit up to the time. It's time, Daddy, to say goodnight.
But you know what? I only got one thing. I only got one more thing. And I actually wrote this down. I didn't have much written down. You typically don't like.
Right now, I ain't gonna be able to read it, man. Just go ahead and say it to me.
Those Slim Jim tables are by far the dumbest shits in the world. I get the money behind it, I'm sure. I understand WWE is all about capitalism. I completely and utterly understand that. It looks like a toy when they pull it out. And this is something that is supposed to hurt. It looks just like that.
You can see the breaks and creaks, and I'm showing on video right now a toy table. Like, it looks like that.
I should not.
With Slim Jim.
Every time you pull that table out, I am more thinking about how dumb the Slim Jim logo is on this fucking table than is the spot where somebody's about to go in there and potentially break their arm, shoulder, leg, neck, etc., etc. They're not going to get rid of it, but it looks like a toy. But I guess it's right on brand for Logan Paul and how he works, right? Video game wrestler, to bring it all full circle. I do have on this shirt. This is not a football podcast, but if it was, we would have went on an hour and a half about how I feel like Las Vegas is disrespecting the Detroit Lions. I checked today. This is legit. They have us at over 10.5 wins on the season. I don't think we're going to win 15 games again this year. We damn sure are winning more than 10 games. We are winning more than 10 games, and I am going to go on FanDuel and put a sizable bet down that we are winning more than 10 games. It's minus 140 right now.
Uh-oh.
But
I'm putting me a sizable.
When I saw that, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But we back. Football season is back. Shout out to everybody who enjoys football season. We don't talk much about football. Of course, this is a wrestling podcast, right? But I would love if you guys want to share who your favorite team is and how excited you are this year. Of course, in our division, Micah Parsons signs to Green Bay. We played them week 1. They're talking about him needing an epidural before the game. I'll take the Lions, please, by 32. Thank you very much. So I'm excited.
Hey, you sound like the Viagra guy, the AI guy on the commercials at night. Thank you very much.
What is it? I'll take 2. Thank you very much.
It scares me. Do you know what we're talking about?
Every time I hear
the
that,
AI commercial, it scares me. Like, I feel like there's something demonic behind it. Never mind.
Eat sleep by that time. You only hear that commercial past midnight, man.
True.
That's when I know. When I hear him, it's time to roll over and go to sleep. I'm way past my bedtime.
Hey, let's end on this one. I'm actually curious. Like, right? Because I'm at the. I don't need Viagra's. I don't need it. Like, there's a lot of men younger than us that takes the Viagra's. Like, what does it do if you don't need it, right? To get to your potential. Like, what is there? Like, is there another additional effect that it gives a man? Like, why, as a man who doesn't have a problem, like, why would I take Viagra's?
If you wanted to go back to back, it helps you with that. Allegedly, okay. if you, for whatever reason, can't get as hard as you want to get, for whatever reason that may be, maybe it's too much, maybe the person that you're with, you're not just the most excited to be with, it works for that. So there's a couple of things, but
wait, so if the wood is wooden, like Viagra can help you keep the wood go a little bit longer. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Well, here it just says it keeps the erection for 4 to 6 hours.
yes.
God damn.
So if you want to go back to back to back.
Hey, Matt, you remember when you was young, man, you tried to go that damn long, bro? That wasn't a good experience for me back in the day, bro. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, of course I do. Of course,
Man,
look, she's starting to blush. You know.
Man, look. 4 hours? 4 hours, man. Look, I don't know, man. I think I'm staying away from Viagra. I'm not trying to do nothing for 4 hours now, goddamn.
Imagine trying to sleep and your stuff is just like that.
Don't roll up to your stomach. God, Lord.
You right here, that much is right there.
Let's just end this now,
Just look at Rhodesia. Just look just like that. Get a close up on the producer. All right,
has to hurt.
Yeah, and just for that, we're out here. Thank you very much. All right, y'all, we out, man. SmackDown's in Chicago. I'm still trying to. I'm going back and forth. I want to be in the building. John Cena's last show live. That would be tremendous. To be able to see AJ come back, I think that'd be fantastic. Typical where we sit is like $500 a ticket. I'm not paying that. I'm hoping they go down, but I think they've already sold like 14,000 seats for this show. They just opened up 2 more sections behind the stage, so those prices dropping may not be in the cards, but I can't pull the trigger.
I look forward to hearing your live
I do
opinion
too, brother.
of the show.
I'm hoping the tickets drop a little bit.
Like, no.
Matt'll be the only one on this pod that's gone.
Oh, you gonna
live.
Be there. You gonna be all 3.
I work Friday.
Oh no, Matt already said he don't want to go. Matt was like, "No, good, Dad, I'm good." Like WrestleMania was close out for me for John Cena. I'm good if I don't see him again. Them tickets cost too much because now he's at a point he's got to buy his own ticket. So now,
you making you buy his own ticket now?
Of course, man. I told Matt, I was like, "You never going to another wrestling show."
You
know it too.
No. Now where y'all be sitting? Ain't no way.
that boy, he know now. I was like, man, you better start watching AEW.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, no, look,
like, tickets a little bit cheaper.
Look, like we can't call him Little Matt no more. He Taller Matt. Like we like
Taller Matt.
Taller Matt, man. Like you can come sit with me, cause Uncle E, man. I don't sit on the floor front row with your folks, man. I'm gonna be up in the lower level, man. So you can come up there with me. You can get a cheaper price.
AEW is coming here in December. I don't think I'll be able to get tickets, but it's World's End. They're going to drop in a couple weeks.
Maybe it's End. I don't know. Maybe it's Armageddon.
Yeah. I would love to go. I just don't think we're going to be able to pull that one off. But they'll be here in December. So I'm excited. I hope we can get there. But if we can't, just as a community, once again, we talk about it a lot. It is a great time to be a wrestling fan. We went an hour and 38 minutes, and there are things that I am legit excited and happy about in AEW. Didn't get to it. They have All Out same day as WrestlePalooza. I think I'm going to have to skip All Out, even though I can tape WrestlePalooza. I don't know how if I'm able to watch that show live, I don't know how it's possible to not watch that show live. AEW is going to have to just pull out. They got to announce a match that is just beyond anything that they probably have that they can do. Speaking of, too, this is yesterday was a 2-year anniversary of CM Punk getting fired in AEW. Think about that, man. 2 years ago, they ran Wembley for the first time, and now 2 years later, CM Punk is in WWE having a hell of a run, about to wrestle with his wife, AJ, who's coming back. You just never know what happens in the wrestling business. You just got to keep watching. That's why we love it. Y'all know where we are. Just follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. We are on YouTube. The road and the countdown to 1,000 is still going on. I think as of today, we are like 842 YouTube subscribers. Shout out to our listeners. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We'll be back next week for more ridiculousness. Rhodesia said, I ain't even gonna repeat it. We out, y'all. Peace.